For a moment, Shohei Ohtani's too good to be true career and reputation looked to be maybe just that, too good to be true. He gets the biggest contract in sports history, is joining a juggernaut Dodgers team along with his beloved translator and friend, Ippei Mizuhara, who's been alongside him since day one in Anaheim. Then all of a sudden, just a game into his Dodger career over in Seoul, South Korea, a massive report comes out that Ippei had been stealing millions stacked on millions of dollars from Otani's bank account to pay off debts to an illegal gambling bookie. Ippei addressed the team in the clubhouse following the game. Apparently, Otani was confused in that moment and not even fully aware what was going on. The whole thing was very weird. Now, naturally, yes, a thought comes creeping in as to if Otani himself was the one with a severe gambling addiction and Ippei is taking the fall, but that soon became clear that that wasn't the case. Otani had a press conference addressing the situation, saying he never gambled or did anything illegal. An investigation soon took place, one that investigators used to go through years of text messages between Otani and Ippei, only to find no discussion of gambling. It became clear Otani was the victim. Ippei eventually pleaded guilty, and at this point was long gone from being a Dodger employee. And that's been that, but there's still a bit more to figure out as far as what exactly is set to happen to Ippei legally. And we just got some wild updates, like some insanely stupid things for Ippei and his attorneys to say regarding the case, along with leaked audio of Ippei pretending to be Shohei Ohtani to the bank to steal his money. Really quick, as always, if you're part of the 53% of viewers not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button if you enjoy the videos, as I'll never understand the people who not just think Ohtani is guilty despite all the evidence showing otherwise, but the way it seems those people are basically rooting and hoping for him to be guilty. It's infuriating, actually. You know, baseball for years has in so many ways been overshadowed by the stars of the NFL and especially of the NBA. The fact that MLB players aren't as marketable. Mike Trout was otherworldly for years, far and away baseball's best player, yet not nearly as popular as Stephen Curry or LeBron James. And baseball fans know this. We all saw that and went, damn, baseball needs to market its players better and have more players willing to be marketable. Well, along comes Shohei Ohtani, a man who has only gone on to grow baseball more than any single player has in the 150 plus year history of its existence. Not only is he a two-way player that anyone in America or Latin America or really anywhere can get behind, but he also kind of sort of has an entire country full of over 124 million people behind him. He's grown to beyond just a baseball player. He's an icon, a celebrity, someone who's treated like freaking Superman in Japan. And hell, in America, he is in a lot of places. The shitty Angels had tons of fans at their road games just to see Ohtani. The Dodgers are a popular team anyway, but adding Ohtani makes a ticket to see them cost another arm and a leg. You get it. We all get it. He's a godsend for baseball and what he's done to grow the game with his talent, but also personality. One that's wholesome, but also badass. One moment he's the kindest man ever. The next he's throwing or flipping his bat after taking a pitcher deep. This is exactly what baseball needed, right? So why would any baseball fan want to root against Shohei? Especially root for him to be guilty for illegally gambling? I mean, are you joking? It's the same thing with Tatis when he started to get a lot of popularity in 2020. Baseball needs marketable guys who have personality and grow the game. The fans know that and ask for that, and most aren't like this, but some fans, once they get that, proceed to complain about it when they do get it. The classic case of wanting what you can't have. You don't have insanely marketable players in baseball? You ask for it. Then you get it and complain and root for them to fail. And it also has to do with people just wanting to be different. Like, oh, look at me, I'm so edgy and cool because I hate what most people like. Please give me attention, please. Look how edgy and cool I am. To me, that just invalidates the opinion of anyone who has that line of thinking. You don't have to root for the Dodgers, that's fine. But for Christ's sake, do you want baseball to grow or not? So it's one thing to be suspicious of the situation. But there were people straight up rooting for Ohtani to be guilty so his reputation would be ruined and baseball would no longer have their golden boy. Why would you want that? Just so you can laugh and say, ha, Dodgers fans? I don't get the logic. Again, most people like Ohtani. They're not like that. But it's just wild how certain people can be. They make no logical sense. And despite all the evidence showing otherwise, like I said, there are some still out there who have their tinfoil hats on and believe, or at the very least want to believe, Ippei is the fall guy for Ohtani. that Otani had his ass covered up. And this never made any sense to me. I don't think those people put more than 3 seconds into the logistics of any of these conspiracies. Do you realize how many people would have to be in on this and lie for it to work? The FBI got involved along with Major League Baseball because this is more than just a baseball situation. It's one thing for the Dodgers to maybe want to cover this up. It's another for the league to also want to. But once you start getting into parties that have nothing to do with baseball, like the frickin' FBI, the amount of people that would have to put their jobs on the line to lie, people that have nothing to do with Otani on a personal level or any level at all, it's not realistic. There are way too many people involved in too many different parties for something to not come out and blow up the whole operation. Otani is innocent, obviously, and nobody should want to believe otherwise. Shohei Ohtani is undeniably great for baseball, and for some reason wanting him to be exposed as a liar is insane. That's anti-baseball. And here's where it gets crazier with Ippei and his side of defense. So he's using the gambling stuff as his excuse. That's the route his lawyers are going with this, as I'm not some legal expert, but I guess that would lower his punishment. In his own filing in the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California yesterday, Ippei cited a serious gambling addiction as he racked up a debt of $40.7 million and deep regret for his crimes and asking the court for a much shorter sentence, 18 months. Prosecutors requested 57. So he's asking for a year and a half compared to what prosecutors want, which is almost 5 years. Now, he did gamble. That was definitely part of it. Between December 2021 and January 2024, Ippei placed approximately 19,000 bets online through bookie Matthew Boyer, another guy under investigation. Ippei's lawyer wrote that his client has struggled with gambling dependence since he was 18, and the $17 million loss started with a credit of $20,000 from his bookie. They're basically going that I had a severe addiction and this is the result of that addiction, but that's not all he was doing. And the U.S. Attorney's Office knows that. U.S. Attorney Jeff Mitchell said that even if Ippei is addicted to gambling, it can't fully explain his conduct because Ippei used the stolen funds for many different personal expenses that had nothing to do with gambling. Quote, ultimately, the government submits the motivating factor behind the defendant's crimes was not a gambling addiction, but rather greed. Also writing that his years-long theft of funds from Mr. Ohtani and the lies he told to Mr. Ohtani's agents and financial advisors to cover up his theft represent a calculated betrayal of the very person he was hired to help. It really is wild how much Ippei sold here. Like, he had such a good situation and blew it all. For what? He was initially paid $80,000 by the Angels, a salary that went up in 2022 to $250,000, and then when Ohtani joined the Dodgers, that salary doubled to $500,000. And not just that, Ohtani also gave Ippei additional money and a Porsche. So you could have been Shohei Ohtani's sidekick, essentially, on the Los Angeles Dodgers for $500,000 a year with a Porsche to drive around and extra money given to you by Shohei. That's like the perfect situation, only to throw all that out of the window out of greed. And what makes it worse is how stupid Ippei and his lawyers are making his case. Usually you'd want your guy to sound like someone the public could be sympathetic for, but what they're putting out only paints the opposite picture. It doesn't make him relatable at all. In his filing, Ippei complained that he was on call 24/7 and severely underpaid, and because he worked on one-year contracts, he did not want to risk getting fired by asking for more pay. So he continued functioning as the go-between for everything from Ohtani's endorsement and brokerage companies to Ohtani's mom, who managed her son's interests in Japan. According to Ippei, the time difference often left him working late hours at the expense of sleep. Quote, I would also be running daily errands such as grocery shopping, checking his mailbox, fixing his bicycle, going with him when he went back to Japan to visit his family, taking his dog to the vet, taking his dog to the groomer, drop off and pick up for his dinners he had with his peers while I wait in the car, helped coordinate Japanese and U.S. lawyers for his marriage prenup and attended the meetings, etc., adding that his only long consecutive days off would be around 4 days at the turn of the year, which left him barely any time to spend with his wife. Yet try telling any American or average person anywhere that you, a man making $500,000 a year to live the big league dream, is underpaid. That your life is hard. Look, I get that a lot was on his plate, but you signed up for this. Ohtani has a lot on his plate, and your job is literally to be the guy that makes his life easier. Ippei was a lot more than just his interpreter, but checking the mail, getting groceries, taking his dog to the groomer for Shohei Ohtani, this is shit people would do for free. It's an obvious way to defend himself to get lesser time, but it doesn't make it any less dumb. And then to take things a step further and disrespect Shohei and try to paint him in a bad light by mentioning the prenup between him and his wife. What does that have to do with you at all? Are you joking? That is such a low blow. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with signing a prenup. Oh, you're saying you don't trust the marriage to work? Yeah, shockingly, I don't trust a marriage, which has more than a 50% chance of failing in today's world, to work. And I don't think whoever has more money in the marriage should have to give it up when it likely goes downhill. Sue me. Sign a prenup. And again, the fact that Ippei brought that up is so uncalled for. So he gets to live the big league dream alongside the world's best player for 500 grand, has a Porsche, and gets extra money from Shohei. Yet his lawyers think we'll believe he's underpaid and feel for him. The U.S. Attorney's Office also cited a $325,000 charge Ippei put on Otani's credit card for baseball cards on eBay, and a $60,000 check Otani cut Ippei for dental work, as they cited this for examples of personal expenses compared to Ippei's story that it was all about a gambling addiction. And with that 60 grand check for dental work, instead of using the check to pay for the dental work, Ippei actually deposited the check into his personal bank account and then used Otani's debit card to pay for the dental work, without his authorization or knowledge. And we also have brand new leaked audio of Ippei calling the bank pretending to be Shohei Ohtani so he can send himself $200,000. Listen.
This call may be monitored and recorded. Who am I speaking with?
Shohei Ohtani.
Thank you. How may I help you?
I tried to log into online banking and it tells me that it's not available to me at this time. And I need a call.
Sure, I can take a look into that. I can take a look into that for you. Okay, it'll be just 1 minute, please, while I access your account. Alrighty. Now, recently we come across a trend of fraud and scams, so we have been monitoring the online transactions closely to make sure our clients are not the victim of either. What is the reason for this transaction?
For a car loan?
Okay. You said it's for a car loan?
Yes.
Okay. What is your relationship to the payee?
He's my friend.
Okay. And have you?
Business.
Okay. Have you met your friend in person?
Yes, many times.
Okay. And I just asked because we haven't been able to verify the transaction. How did he go about giving you his wire information? Is it something that was given to you over the phone, through email, text messaging?
He emailed to me.
Okay. Did you have the opportunity to verbally speak with the payee and verify the wire information?
Yes, when I see him in person, we talk about it.
Okay. So you seen him in person and you went over the wire numbers?
Yes.
Okay. Will there be any future wires to your friend?
Possibly.
Okay. All righty. If I can ask you to bear with me just a few moments, I'm going to take a look into getting this resolved for you, and you'll hear silence as I'm working on this, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Bro didn't even try to sound like Otani. Like, yeah, my voice is totally different, but because I claim to be Shohei Ohtani, I'm Shohei Ohtani. Does that mean I can just say I'm Shohei and you're all gonna believe me? Reminds me of those scam Instagram DMs I think people used to get, including me. I think I got one, of someone claiming they were Michael Jackson, alive and well, but in hiding and needed some money to come out of hiding, and then put tee-hee at the end of the message. Like, that would make it believable. Oh, my bad. Yeah, I'll admit I had my doubts at first reading your message, but that tee-hee at the end made me truly realize it was undoubtedly you. I'm so glad you're alive, Michael. Here's $1,000. Ippei has a history of fraudulent behavior. He had a resume that claimed he worked for the Red Sox in 2010 and translated for Hideki Okajima, and also claimed that he graduated from the University of California, Riverside in 2007, only for both the Red Sox and University of California, Riverside to be like, yeah, he never worked here or went to school here. He's like a cartoon character. Seriously, like, how can you just blatantly lie about stuff like that and expect to get away with it? I mean, I guess he did for a while. Ippei's bound to also get deported back to Japan, which isn't the worst place to get deported to. But when you're a guy who's now known for lying and scamming the most beloved Japanese person in the world right now out of millions of dollars, let's just say you might not be treated like a first-class citizen there. You're going to be treated more like Ivan Drago was by Russia after he lost his fight to Rocky. It does suck. I mean, Ippei's already been banned from Uber Eats after trying to work for them because of his bad reputation that neither Uber or any company would like to associate with. According to Ippei, his mother had to stop working at her job as a nurse because she works with many Asians. He and his wife have been followed and harassed. They have to be careful about going out in public, stuff like that. And of course, anything violent or anything at all against anyone associated to Ippei, like his family, is totally uncalled for. They don't deserve that. But at the end of the day, Ippei did this to himself. His fraudulent behavior finally caught up to him in the worst way imaginable, and he's now one of the most hated men in the world, literally. It's not Shohei's fault. No need to bring up the prenup he has with his wife to smear him in a bad light while you paint yourself as a hopeless addict who is barely making minimum wage. No, you're the bad guy here. You betrayed who was supposed to be your best friend, it sucks, and now you have to pay the consequences. Again, his family doesn't deserve any hate. They should be totally left alone. But Ippei, you did this to yourself, man. And as for Shohei Ohtani haters, you're welcome for making you feel even dumber. Let me know your thoughts and thank you for watching.